What would happen if I told you that the moment you truly choose yourself, the whole world starts to shift? People drift away. Old paths collapse. Life itself seems to nudge you towards something real, something true. It's as if everything around you has been waiting quietly for the moment you stop betraying your own soul. Because the second you whisper, "Enough, I will no longer give myself away to keep someone else comfortable," the universe leans closer and seems to say, "Finally, you're ready." It starts quietly. The story always begins this way. There's a woman who has spent years trying to keep a relationship alive that no longer has breath. She holds on tightly, thinking love is about giving up herself, that loyalty means shrinking into someone else's shadow. She believes that if she gives just a little more, if she softens, waits, forgives, maybe love will return the way it was once promised. But what she is really seeking isn't love. She is seeking herself, her unlived, untamed self. At the start, the relationship is never just with another person. It is with the reflection of what she has not yet recognized in herself. The partner carries qualities she has yet to awaken: tenderness, strength, passion, understanding. And she mistakes this reflection for destiny. She clings to it, terrified of losing the mirror that shows her deepest longing. But love built on projection is fragile. It is a dream that exists to awaken you to what still sleeps inside. Over time, cracks appear. The person who once felt like home begins to feel like a cage. Arguments repeat like old songs. Silence grows heavy, not from lack of words, but from the weight of truth left unspoken. Deep inside, she knows it's time to step into her own life, to answer the call to become whole. But answering that call means leaving the illusion behind and stepping into solitude. Few are ready for that. You see, the ego fears loss. It clings not because of love, but because of fear, the fear of being alone, unchosen, not enough. But the soul, the real soul, knows something different. Separation is not punishment. It is awakening. It is the sacred unraveling through which the false self falls away and the true self emerges. Choosing yourself over a relationship does not mean rejecting love. It means rejecting dependency dressed as love. It means saying, "I will no longer shrink to make someone else comfortable." It is not pride. It is reverence. Reverence for the spark inside you that has been quieted for too long. Every time you set a boundary, every time you say no in self-respect, you bring your hidden self home. And yes, when you choose yourself, the world will respond with chaos before it turns toward harmony. Things may fall apart, not because you are cursed, but because the old order must dissolve for something new to rise. Relationships may end. Friends may not understand. You may cry in the quiet hours, questioning if you've made a mistake. This is the passage where your soul reclaims its freedom. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads. On one side lies the familiar, the comfort of belonging, even if it costs you authenticity. On the other side lies the unknown, silent solitude, the things you've been avoiding. Most people turn back. But those who step forward discover something extraordinary beyond fear. When you honor your own worth, the world rearranges around your truth. People who thrived on your pain drift away. New people show up who reflect your strength, not your weakness. Situations that once drained you lose power. Opportunities align with the energy of your authenticity. It's not magic. It's alignment. When you change from self-abandonment to self-respect, your world has to follow. The energy you once poured into seeking love outside yourself becomes the light that draws love to you. The woman who once waited for validation now sees herself. She walks with quiet confidence, no longer needing to prove her worth. The soul, after enduring loss and heart-touch, emerges purified. Choosing yourself is not the end of love. It is the beginning of real love. Because when you stop chasing reflections and start embodying them, you become the source of what you once sought. The world doesn't punish this soul. It leans in. When you respect your essence, life conspires for you. And the greatest freedom comes from inner sovereignty. The greatest act of love is self-respect. Imagine a woman once tied down by invisible threads slowly untying herself. The room that once echoed with desperate pleas for love is now quiet, but it is a sacred quiet, humming with potential. Transformation begins here. Not in arguments, not in reconciliation, but in the stillness where you face yourself fully, without distraction. Choosing yourself is confronting your depths willingly. It's saying, I will no longer be afraid to see who I am without someone else's reflection. This is not rejection. It is remembrance. Remembering a truth buried beneath roles, expectations, and fear of abandonment. For years, you might have believed love was endurance, giving up yourself to prove devotion. But endurance that erases you is betrayal. When you swallow your voice too many times, smile through tears, tolerate disrespect to keep peace, something inside begins to fracture. That fracture is your soul asking to be whole. The parts of you that said yes when you meant no, that forgave to avoid being alone, that performed to please, these parts hold your buried energy. Reclaiming them makes the world feel unstable. But in that disorientation, your true center emerges. Choosing yourself is facing adversity consciously. Walking away from comfort to claim your inner kingdom. It takes courage because it means leaving the illusion that someone else holds your peace. And here is the paradox. The moment you stop seeking completion in another, you radiate the completeness that draws true love toward you. That is why the world seems to shift when you decide to respect yourself. It is not a reward. It is natural law. Energy aligns with integrity. Actions aligned with truth recalibrate life. Those who thrived on your neglect fade. Those who resonate with your authenticity appear. This path is not gentle. There will be nights of unbearable loneliness. Moments when you doubt your strength is worth the emptiness. When old messages tempt you to reach out. That is the ego fighting for survival, whispering, maybe you were too harsh. Maybe you could have tried again. But beneath that, if you listen closely, is a quieter voice, that of the self. The moment comes when you say, stay. Don't run back to what confines you. If you stay, really stay, something shifts. The silence that once felt empty starts to feel calm. You begin to notice a sense of completeness returning, as if the pieces of yourself are finding their place in a stronger pattern. You notice beauty again in small, everyday things. The morning light, the rhythm of your breath, the way your heart beats just for being alive. This is where real transformation begins. It's not about being perfect, it's about being whole. You start to bring together your inner contradictions, strength with softness, independence with connection, wisdom with vulnerability. The energies inside you begin to balance, and you no longer look to others to fill what you've denied in yourself. You start to see that love doesn't mean losing yourself. It grows when two people meet as whole beings, without needing to control or fix one another. As you change, life changes too. People respond differently, not because they've changed, but because you no longer accept what diminishes your spirit. The world becomes a reflection of how you stand inside yourself. Choosing yourself is this act of awareness. It's taking control of your life from the hands of old patterns. But know this, those who once thrived on your compliance may call your strength selfish. They might say you're cold, distant, or too much. Don't let their reactions pull you back. Their discomfort is about their own shadows, not your light. A woman who honors herself becomes a mirror for others to see their own limits, and sometimes that scares them. Your job is not to dim your light. It's to stand fully in it. Over time, something remarkable happens. You feel the quiet companionship of the universe itself. Little signs appear, moments that seem to whisper, you are on your path. You meet people who understand you without needing you to shrink. Opportunities flow where there was stagnation before. Life moves not because you chased it, but because you aligned with your true current. The universe doesn't reward or punish, it reflects. It mirrors the energy of your choices. When you choose yourself from love, not fear or ego, life expands around you, echoing your strength and clarity. There's a quiet moment that comes after the storm, a stillness that follows breaking. It doesn't announce itself loudly, but arrives like the soft light of dawn you almost missed because your eyes were swollen from tears. This is the sacred pause between endings and beginnings, the threshold where transformation becomes visible. Choosing yourself means letting go of an old version of yourself, the one shaped to please, endure, or gain approval. That version helped you survive, but survival and wholeness are not the same. The universe, in its quiet wisdom, begins to dismantle what was never truly yours. The relationship fades. The job you clung to feels empty. Friendships built on self-abandonment fade. Life seems to strip everything familiar away, but in truth, it's returning you to yourself. At first, you resist. You try to rebuild what is falling apart, to bargain with life. But slowly, resistance softens, and a new curiosity arises. Who am I without giving myself away? Who am I without their validation or approval? These questions open the door to your true self, the part of you that exists beyond others' opinions. Choosing yourself means returning to that inner sanctuary, the unshakable center that remains no matter what changes outside. The path isn't free of shadows. The loneliness that once scared you becomes your teacher. Solitude is not emptiness, it is space. It lets your soul breathe without the constant noise of trying to be enough for everyone else. You begin to hear the quiet music of your own spirit. Healing deepens from an idea into real life. Old patterns will rise again, memories of passion, moments of connection, past promises. You may dream of someone from before, see their face in strangers, feel sudden waves of longing. This isn't regression. It's integration. These memories help you see clearly without the fog of illusion. You begin to understand you didn't love them fully. You loved what they reflected of yourself. Every heartbreak, every longing is your soul nudging you toward wholeness. You begin to see love differently. The love you once gave outward starts to flow inward. You treat yourself with the tenderness you once reserved for others. You speak gently to your inner child, the one who believed love meant sacrifice. You protect your boundaries not with anger, but with quiet strength. Self-respect is not armor, it's light. It shines from the truth that your worth was never up for negotiation. Life begins to reflect this change. People respond to you differently, not because they've changed, but because you have. You move through the world with steadiness that doesn't depend on approval. Love becomes something you share freely, not something you chase. The desperation that once clung to your relationship slowly fades, replaced by a calm presence that feels natural. There's a moment, often unexpected, when you realize you're grateful for everything that once hurt you. The relationships you mourned were never detours. They were mirrors showing you who you truly are. Without them, you might have kept living half asleep, confusing attachment for real connection. But now you understand that the love you were looking for outside was really the love you denied yourself. When this truth settles into your bones, life begins to shift. Things happen in ways that feel aligned rather than forced. Opportunities show up at the right time. People enter your life carrying exactly what you need to hear. You start to feel guided not by luck, but by your own alignment. The world that once seemed to take everything away now gives freely because the energy you send out has changed. Fear no longer drives you. Scarcity no longer pulls you down. You vibrate at the frequency of wholeness, and life reflects that back. The woman who once felt broken becomes the creator of her own life. She builds not from need, but from essence. The one who once begged for love now moves as love itself, quietly strong, unshakably free. There's a certain beauty after the storm. Not the bright sunlight, but the quiet grace of knowing you survived the night. This is the beauty of someone who has faced her shadows and returned carrying light. What feels like an ending is often the beginning of your true self. Every part of you that you once ignored or ran from now stands with you. Not as enemies, but as guides. The parts of you that hurt, that doubted, that longed, they are all messengers of your wholeness. Choosing yourself begins this reunion. Suffering transforms into wisdom. Longing turns into presence. Love becomes a state of being, not a transaction. The universe doesn't ask for perfection. It only asks for honesty. Truth changes reality. When you stop performing for love and start living as love, you begin to radiate it. You stop chasing and start creating. You don't need approval because you are already complete. When you wake in the morning, you no longer need someone else to validate your existence. You greet the day as an equal to life itself. There's steadiness in your breath, authority in your steps. You move with intention instead of reaction. Your inner harmony replaces dependency on others. You are your own protector, your own nurturer, your own source of meaning. Life responds to this coherence. The world that once reflected chaos now reflects your calm. Situations that once triggered you now pass through you like wind over water. You no longer collapse when validation is absent. You feel compassion even for those who once hurt you because you see they acted from their own wounds, just as you once did. This softens your heart without weakening it. Forgiveness comes naturally as understanding. You had to experience false love to recognize real love. You had to lose what wasn't yours to find what always was. Every heartbreak was orchestrated to return you to yourself. You no longer seek relationships to escape loneliness. You enter them as extensions of your wholeness. Love is not a bargain, it is a creative act. Two whole people meet not to fill a void, but to expand the infinite within each other. This is conscious love. This is love born after finding yourself. The universe doesn't change, you do. And life rearranges itself around the woman you have become. Every boundary, every act of self-respect sends a ripple into the world. New doors open because your energy is no longer tied to what diminishes you. You realize it was never about the other person. They were never the villain or the savior. They were part of the process that awakened you. The lover who betrayed you revealed where you betrayed yourself. The one who withheld love mirrored your own withholding. Every rejection, every loss, became the crucible that reforged your self-worth. You faced the parts of yourself that scared you and survived. You discovered you were never truly lost. Even when everything external fell away, something eternal remained. The witness inside you, the flame that no heartbreak could extinguish. Now that flame guides you. You no longer look for direction from others. You trust your intuition. The universe speaks to you in signs, in timing, in moments that feel impossible. But they are not magic. They are alignment. Your self-respect, once fragile, is now your foundation. When new love comes, it will meet you in your fullness. It will celebrate your strength. You will attract not what you want, but what you are. Looking back, you feel gratitude for the version of yourself who once begged for love. Without her, there would be no awakening. Without her pain, no depth. Without her loss, no expansion. Life was never punishing you. It was shaping you. And now you stand complete, imperfect human, radiant, alive. The relationship you once clung to became the initiation that awakened your soul. You have become what you were seeking. You are love itself. You are the mirror and the reflection. You are the universe seeing itself through your eyes.